Thank you everybody for joining today. My name is Vinny and I'm a solutions engineer with CircleCI. Joining us on the call today is Zoltan David, founder and product manager of ConfigCat. On the agenda today, we're going to give quick introductions of ourselves, and then we're going to dive straight into an introduction to CircleCI and what orbs are, why orbs are special, and how it allows us to partner together with companies like ConfigCat and Zoltan. After that, we'll dive immediately into ConfigCat. Zoltan will take over the presentation and do a product overview, as well as do a demo and show you how ConfigCat and CircleCI's partnership will help you all as developers. All right, so who are we? Once again, my name is Vinny. I'm a solutions engineer with CircleCI. Been with CircleCI for almost a year now, and although I have a background as a software engineer, my role now primarily is working with customers, doing demonstrations, hosting webinars like this, going to conferences and doing workshops, etc. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a great experience working here, and I've learned a lot about the many different tools and languages and workflows that our customers are using. Looking forward to learning more. Zoltan?
So thanks for having us here. It's so great to be here. My name is Zoltan. I'm from ConfigCat. I'm the product manager and the founder of it. We are a feature flag as a service. A startup started 2 years ago, and we have an integration with CircleCI, which I'm going to demo you today.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Zoltan. So really quickly, in order for you to understand the value of ConfigCat's partnership and orb with CircleCI, I'm going to really quickly highlight what CircleCI is and show you what, as a platform, it can offer. As a mission, we try to make it as easy as possible to go from idea to delivery. And what this means is speeding up your build, test, and delivery processes and the automation thereof. We were founded in 2011, and now we're at more than 290 employees across 5 continents. And as I mentioned before, our platform, if you will, is a CI/CD service, and we help teams to build better software quicker and more reliably. Incidentally, I wanted to mention that we're also currently the world's largest shared CI/CD platform, meaning that we run in the cloud and we manage all of your infrastructure for you. And to prove this, we have over 1 million builds per day running on our platform. And some of our biggest customers are the logos that you see down below, being Coinbase, GM Cruise, Spotify, and Stitch Fix, among many, many other names that you would recognize. In your toolchain, CircleCI sits between the creation and the logistics side of your entire workflow. As soon as you commit changes to your code in GitHub, Bitbucket, etc., we trigger builds on CircleCI's platform. And we've got customers doing everything under the sun, from actually building the source code to running unit tests, integration tests, etc. We've got customers who are doing linting of their code, who are building documentation, who are scanning their containers for security issues and vulnerabilities, etc. All of it can be done in CircleCI. And of course, the delivery process. We, as I go through this in the demo, you'll see, but we can essentially integrate with any tool or provider out there that has an API, and we can connect to it. And subsequently, we have many, many, many customers who are using us to deploy to various production environments, including AWS, GCP, Heroku, Docker, etc. So really quickly, I'm going to flip over to doing a demo for you. Here, what you're looking at is the job details page. On the CircleCI platform, at the highest level, a job is a piece of 2 components. That's going to be the execution environment and then the steps that you run inside that environment. Okay, that's it, just those 2 pieces. And so you can see here that because of it's just those 2 pieces, it's very easy to onboard and understand how CircleCI works. I'm looking at a test job here where I spin up the environment. I'm using a CircleCI node Docker image. For our execution environments, you can use any Docker image of your choice. CircleCI maintains a huge array of pre-built images for you to use, or you can use your own custom Docker images as well. And we also have the choice of Windows, Linux, and macOS virtual machines, giving you the capability to do full cross-platform builds on our platform. In this specific example, as I mentioned, I'm doing a Node.js Docker image, and these are all the steps that I am running inside this environment. I'm checking out the code, I am restoring a cache. We offer dependency caching on our platform, and then I am ultimately, the most important step here is running Test Cafe's tests. Test Cafe is just another test suite. It's just like Karma, Mocha, etc. And you have a choice of which test suites you want to run on our platform, because we can essentially run whatever commands you want to. Another slick feature of our platform that I wanted to call attention to real quick is that in our platform, you have the capability to actually rerun a job with SSH. And what this does for you is it re-kicks off the same job that you're running, but it opens up a port for you to SSH into. And this allows you to get inside the environment, poke at files, tail logs, etc., and actually debug. And this is a huge game changer for developers and their productivity, because now they have a direct hand inside their environment to debug and work through their issues. This configuration that you see right there is all done via a config.yaml that you see on the right-hand side here. As I mentioned before, every job consists of an execution environment. Here, I'm using my node executor, and these are the steps that I am running inside the job. Besides a few special predefined keys for CircleCI, which is for special functionality that we offer, like caching and storing test results, artifacts, etc., all of your steps are just going to be simple run commands where you can run essentially whatever command you want to. And subsequently, anything you can run in your terminal locally on your computer is something that can be automated in CircleCI. And so this configuration that you see on the right-hand side maps one-to-one with what you see on the left-hand side. It's very simple YAML configuration, very easy to understand, no additional languages or scripting you need to mess with. Subsequently, it's very easy to get started and onboarded with CircleCI. If I go up a level, you can see a workflow. And workflows here are basically relationships between jobs and how they depend on each other. We support various different scenarios such as fan-in, fan-out workflows. We have a manual approval job, which will pause your pipeline and allow an operator or someone else to go in, double check everything is good, and then give the approval to deploy to production. And all of this, as you can see, is configured via this YAML file inside your repository. And the reason we do this is because we believe in config as YAML. Config as YAML is good because you can version it, you can track it, you can see who made what changes and when, and subsequently it's very powerful as opposed to compared to trying to configure everything through a user interface. Now, all of this sounds great and all, but what does this have to do with partnerships and ConfigCat and orbs? What are orbs, right? And so this is where a huge value proposition of our platform is. Orbs are just reusable, shareable packages of that same configuration that I just showed you, right? All of the configuration I just showed you, from the executor definition, job definition, steps definition, etc., you can take that, you can extract specific parameters like secrets or specific names, and then you can turn them into parameters that you can plug in, and then you can share just the logic with other teams, other companies, etc., just like using a function in your code. Here, you can see an outline of the different things that you can templatize or orbify, if you will, and share with other people. You can create just individual commands and just share those commands. You can create specific environments and share just those environments. And of course, you can share the combination of the commands and executors, which is an entire job. And you can execute templatizable, reusable jobs. Because of this powerful flexibility and configurability, what this means is that we can partner together with companies like ConfigCat and various other companies in order to create shareable templated configuration to integrate with their services and tools. Some of our existing integrations today, you can see in this list, We integrate with various providers that you've probably heard of before: Postman, Sauce Labs, JFrog, etc. And then we also have an array of CircleCI maintained orbs to integrate with various big cloud providers you can see here. So Heroku, GCP, Azure, AWS, etc. As of today, we have at least 52 CircleCI maintained orbs, at least 64 partner orbs, and in total, in the entire community and registry, 1,415 orbs that you can make use of to reuse configuration today. These are some links and resources and examples that you would be able to access. The slides for this webinar are going to be made available after this webinar is over. And so once you get your hands on these slides, you can click on any of these links to learn more about orbs, about the orb registry, and about our partners. Having said all that, I'd now like to hand over the presentation to Zoltan, who will walk through ConfigCat and how a partnership with ConfigCat and CircleCI can help you as developers.
So thank you. ConfigCat is a feature flag as a service which allows you to remotely configure your softwares without redeploying code. We aim to be a 10 minutes trainable service that you can use with an unlimited team size, providing awesome support and hopefully no surprises. We have a CircleCI orb that I'm going to show you today. Basically, ConfigCat allows you to reconfigure your apps without redeploying code. This allows you to deploy on Fridays too. And we enable you to do this by giving you feature flags. In its simplest forms, feature flags are just if conditions at the level of your code that control whether your application will show a new feature or an old one. In its simplest form, on a feature flag dashboard UI, a feature flag is just a toggle that can be either enabled or disabled. Let's say time flows from left to right, and in a certain point in time, you are going to release your new features code. You are going to deploy your new features code to your production environment. If a problem or any issue pops up, normally it takes time to fix it. From the point in time when you deployed that buggy feature to the production environment until you fix that problem, your user base will see it as a buggy feature. Let's see what happens if you have a feature flag and a control toggle. Then if you deploy your buggy code to live and enable it by a feature toggle, then later, if the issue pops up, you can simply disable or hide that buggy feature by the feature flag and the toggle, and you have time to fix it. In this case, the time the user sees the buggy feature is far less than in the previous case without the feature flag. In its simplest form, you can use the feature flags as kill switches, but they make a big difference. Basically, what they do is they make the blast radius much smaller if the thing hits the fan. Besides, these feature flags give you the ability to align your product's feature releases with marketing or sales campaigns by allowing you to control who and when sees your new features. Furthermore, they enable early adopter programs, A/B testing, and basically they allow you to test on low-risk user segments or user groups first. They do this by allowing you to control who sees, and by who I mean your users, which of your users see your new features and when they see it. They give you the ability to do controlled rollouts by targeting either individual users or well-defined segments of them, or maybe to do random percentage-based rollouts. I mentioned kill switches already, and at the development level, they allow you to do trunk-based development, and by this to escape the merge hell of branch-based development. However, feature flags have downsides as well. They introduce a combinatorial explosion into the complexity of your systems, just because simply by adding one simple feature flag to your code base can mean doubling the complexity of your system, which means definitely it is harder to test. Best practices to work with feature flags include having a central visual dashboard and cleaning up unused flags from your code as early and as often as you can. Of course, there is nothing better than to do it automatically, and this is what exactly the CircleCI orb does. I'm just going to show it right now. So on the left-hand side of the screen, there are 12 little applications. They are the demo applications today. They can either have a red or a green background. Their background color is controlled by a feature flag. On the right-hand side of the screen, you see ConfigCat's feature flag dashboard. We use the green UI enabled feature flag to control the background color of the applications in the left. You can use that feature flag either to globally enable or disable the green background for the applications, or you can use it to target only a few individual users, like everyone in Belgium, or maybe you can use it to target users in a certain company, for example, by specifying their email address domain. In this example, we enable the green UI feature for all users with the email address of mycomp.com. If you no longer need a feature flag, either because you are going to release the feature for everyone forever, or because you decide to cut it off, a point comes in time when you will no longer need a feature flag and you are going to delete it from the dashboard, from the feature flag dashboard. Still, there is a danger of forgetting about the flag and leaving it in the source code. If you use CircleCI to build your code, then it will find unused flags for you, and through its orb, CircleCI will track unused flag automatically and warn you about it. This is a tremendous help in keeping your code base clean. As a summary, feature flags help you release new features and to test them on low-risk user segment first. ConfigCat is a visual feature flag dashboard that you can use, and our CircleCI orbs give you the ability to automatically clean up unused feature flags in your code. Thanks for your attention today.
All right,
Do you
awesome.
have any questions?
Yes, we'd like to open up the presentation now for any questions or comments anybody would like to ask. And while they're typing them or thinking about them, Zoltan, thanks again for doing the presentation. I thought that was really cool. Something I actually just came up with while you were doing that is that you can actually use your feature flags to make, technically you can use them to make gated or like premium features for a platform as well. Because with what you just showed us, you can specify down to something as arbitrary as like, you know, user email addresses or something like that. And so it could be
Exactly.
that some companies have paid for a certain premium feature, and so you can roll out a certain feature just to them. That's really cool. That's awesome.
Exactly. You could use a feature flag permanently in your code to have it for you. So but it's more often to have feature flags only temporarily and maybe just to enable your sales team to demo new features to new users before they buy your product. Maybe it's better to use a subscription as a service as a permanent solution to control the feature availability in a long term for your users based on their subscriptions.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Awesome. Hey, it looks like I've got a question from an external viewer here. Is there a typical script or receipt for releasing a new feature with feature flags? Can I understand that question?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, basically, before starting ConfigCat, I was working for LogMeIn and JoinMe, which was a meeting tool with 2 million active users. And actually, we had a receipt there, which I followed. And first step was always dog fooding, which meant like after we deployed a new feature to live, it was always us, the developer team, whom it was released first. This way, having a feature live but switched on or enabled only for yourself for like 2 days, that meant you will catch like 90% of the glitches and the bugs. An ideal next step could be releasing your new feature only to users. I call them friendly users who can give you valuable feedback, but are unlikely to start a hate campaign on Twitter or something like that. Ideally, if you have a lot of users, then it could be a good idea to release your new feature to a low percentage of those users globally. However, it's important not to forget to exclude sensitive users. And by sensitive users, I mean users who are going to leave your company, leave your product, or are just thinking about it. As a final or semi-final step could be releasing your feature to everyone, maybe excluding the sensitive users still. But definitely in some point of the time, you are going to release your new feature to all of your users. And then there's the time to clean up the feature flags from the code. It doesn't sound to be that important for a product manager for the first, but engineering teams definitely see the value in cleaning as early and as often as you can the unused flags from the code.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Kind of tying this to that last bullet point you have there. It says clean up old feature flags. How long should you keep a feature flag in your code? Is there a standard practice there, or?
Well, generally we have a discussion with our customers about this, how they do it, and most of them who work in a Scrum-like or Agile-like environment, what they tell us is that they typically clean up their code, and after the feature is released globally, they tend to clean up the flags from the code in the next 2 sprints somewhere in time. But it really depends on the market and on the industry they are in. This could range from 2 weeks to a half year.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Any additional questions?
I'm sorry?
Any additional questions from any of our attendees here? All right, so it doesn't look like there are any additional questions at this time. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the webinar. Thank you all again for coming to this webinar today. The recording and the slides will be made available online for you to review afterwards. We'll send out a link. And yeah, at any given time, you can always reach out to either of our companies for any additional questions, or if you're interested in trying out our products for your teams. Thanks again, Zoltan. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.